add to it, that is where they get against people because they say this was on the Ten Commandments, and that's not true. Not totally, but it really fell in line with them as it were. In the United States, the kind of belief in imminence which has been growing in the last half century bears, superficially at least, some discomfiting similarities to that which I have described in southern states before the Civil War. Although the content is very different, the formal character of the beliefs and some of the surrounding circumstances are quite comparable. Our belief in legal imminence has arisen out of a dominant, one might also say a fetishistic belief in the peculiar virtue and perfection of political democracy as we know it and as it is practiced in the United States. And our belief, too, has been a kind of response to outside attack. In order to strengthen ourselves against the threat of communist conspiracy and totalitarian subversion, we take a holistic view. While Southerners came to see the institution of slavery as the lifeblood of all social good, nourishing the peculiar virtues of political, social, economic, and cultural life in the South, so we see our institution of political democracy informing our political, social, economic, and cultural life, just as Southerners saw apparel not only to their political system and their economy, but to their whole way of life. So with us, with the increase of northern threats, the intransigence of southern belief in themselves and their peculiar institution hardened. Their belief in imminence was expressed in their faith in a law which was unwritten, untechnical, and unbending, and so is ours. I have characterized the antebellum Southern belief in imminence as a tendency toward social narcissism. The society came to worship itself. Reform movements virtually disappeared. Southern thinkers came to confuse sociology with social morality. They looked into the mirror to see what they should be. Certain tendencies in American life today suggest that we too are in danger of finding our imminence in the mirror. In the last half century, the predominant fact of intellectual history shaping our thinking about law and society has been the rise of the social sciences and the idea of social science. Only a few decades ago, courses in sociology in the better colleges were still entitled The Prevention of Poverty. They were primarily concerned with such topics as crime, delinquency, and the social evil. But nowadays, sociology is concerned with techniques of social control, the structure of society, the functions of cities, ethnicity, and the roles of social classes and races. The study of government has become political science. Political economy has become the science of economics. Even history has become more and more social scientific. An American dilemma, the Negro problem in modern democracy, a collaborative work in social sciences by Gunnar Mardell and many others were published in 1944. The unanimous Supreme Court decision declaring racial segregation in the public schools unconstitutionally came exactly 10 years later, in 1954. The few future was Justice Holmes in his Path of the Law in 1897 predicted would belong to the man of statistics and the master of economics. That future has now arrived. The conviction grows and is expressed in the curricula of our best law schools that the lawyer must not only know law, he must know the facts of life, the facts of our society, the laws of social behavior inherent in society itself. Only recently have we begun to act on the truism that one cannot know a society's laws without knowing the society. And that's true. I see it in my neighbors who are half illegal. There are obviously many advantages for the lawyer and for the society. But with this belief comes the tendency to find the immanence of the law in the supposedly inevitable tendencies of the society itself. It has often been remarked that Justice Holmes' classic description of the object of legal study as prediction, the prediction of the incidents of the public force through the instrumentality of the courts, while helpful to the practicing lawyer, is not only very useful to the legislator, the citizen, or the social scientist trying to decide how legal development should be directed. The great danger of the social science emphasis is the training of lawyers. The great danger of finding the immanence of our laws in the very processes of our society is that we should make law into tautology. The predictive theory of law could lead us to make all our society's laws nothing but self-fulfilling prophecies. Obviously, our laws cannot ignore the facts of our social life, but they must do more than merely reflect them. Intelligent citizens cannot be guided by what their opinion polls tells them is their opinion. We suffer ever stronger temptation to social narcissism. In a beleaguered world, we are ever more tempted to be satisfied that our laws should reflect a society which we define as ex hypotheses good. But to do so is to deprive our laws of the normative role, which in the common law tradition has made them a bulwark for each generation against the specious urgencies of its own age. One of the most difficult problems in our society today is to get a message in from the outside. We believe in our power to make ourselves. The more we see our laws as a reflection of norms, indwelling in current social practice, pressures, and disorders, the more we deprive ourselves of an opportunity to make law a means of communication between the past and the present. For this purpose, the preservation of a tradition of professionalism, of technicality, is essential. Here we must more than ever rely on what Sir Edward Coke, against the arbitrary James I, the amateur lawyer, who said he knew all he needed to know of the law, said was not natural reason, but the artificial reason and judgment of the law, which law is an art which requires long study and experience. Before that, a man can attain to the cognizance of it. And that's all I can remember for now. But it's becoming brighter. I do believe the name of that book was The Hidden History be ever vigilant in this great nation of